everyone, it's AJ, and today is Monday. So you know what that means. It's Manga Monday! Yeah! So, with the end of summer, I thought it would be nice to get a little summary story, because, you know, that makes complete sense. Well, technically, at the end of the story, it is the end of summer, so, kinda works out. Am I bullshitting? Probably, but aye. Wouldn't be me if there wasn't some bullshit. But anyway, today we are talking about my summer review. Yep, it's been a wee while since I've hit the little BLs and gave it its own little spotlight. But yeah, this is a big boy. Like, if you can't tell, like, most manga, like, kind of comes up to, like, this height on them. And also, it's very thick. Like, damn, boy. So, yeah, this is fun. So, I actually picked this up, I want to say I bought it, like, 2 months ago or something like that. Because it just came out in English, I think, July-ish. And I hadn't read it. It's just been sitting there in the corner. I don't know if you maybe seen, but it used to live literally right there. It's literally the first book of, like, what I call now my BL section. Because it is the biggest one of them all. And I didn't touch it for ages. It's just been sitting there. Until I literally binge watched all of Watercoy. And it shows up there. I'm just like, wait. I recognise that cover, and it's literally Narumi and Hanako in the manga shop, and then like they're looking at, oh fuck, what's the show? Was it Takashi? The fucking two actors was like, oh, I'm like being sexually harassed by like the hottest like guy in the world or something like that, and then like Narumi goes like, oh, here's other suggestions. And one of them is my summer review. And I was like, I have that. I'm going to read that now. And it turns out there's a second volume. Like, yes, even better. Literally just looked it up as I finished it. And it was like, out of curiosity, I wonder, because clearly it took a while to get here. So maybe like more of the story has progressed or anything like that. And it's like, oh yes, second volume, end of the year. I'm like, ooh, yes. So the premise of my summer review is about these two lovely little high school boys who basically become friends because they both really like their movies. And, well, they're kind of like known as being kind of unusual friends because they're not like in the same class or anything like that. So basically the people around them are very confused about why they're friends, because they don't really explain the fact that they go to the cinema all the time and like they just have a common hobby. They just don't talk about it. So we have our two little boys here. We have Toda, who's essentially our main protagonist. Like, we see mostly everything from his point of view and everything like that. And his pal Saiki, who basically is the heartthrob of the fucking school. Like, every lassie is like trying to ask him out. He just goes, nah. And apparently in middle school, basically any girl that asked him out, he would say yes to. So now that they're in high school, it's all changed. So there's this kind of load of mystery around him, and it's like, well, why does he keep rejecting all these lassies, saying like, oh, there's somebody that he likes. You can see where this is going, obviously. It's a BL, of course, you know this is where it's going. So, one of Toda's friends had asked him, been like, well, oh, like, use our pals, like, do you know who he likes, kind of thing. He's like, well, no, we don't talk about that, blah, 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 blah. So, on one of their weird excursions, they go to the cinema, like, 2 to 3 times a month, so, just after one of the films, he just kind of brings it up, and just asks, and, well, Saiki just basically comes out and, well, I can tell you who I like. And he's like, no, you don't need to tell me if you don't want to. You don't. And he's like, the smoothest motherfucker here just goes, I'm looking at them right now. This is all within the first chapter, people. I am just saying. So this whole fucking premise is just like out there in the first chapter. It's like, oh, hey, I like you. And Hoda's literally looking around, making sure, like, to see if there's somebody else. And he's just like, oh, wait, you mean me? And it's like, wait, what? So, but you think, oh, that's nice to get together right there and then. No, that's not the case. It's actually kind of heartbreaking in a sense, because Psyche is basically just like, I'm just happy that I have told you. Like, I don't expect anything from you. Like, you can freak out if you want. Like, what? Like, he's expecting, like, the whole lot kind of thing. And Toda just goes, well, he's just going blank. He's just like, how do I process this? But he doesn't do it in, like, a meaningful way. Because literally, Psyche's like, if you hate this, you can, like, push me away. You can tell me that you hate it and everything like that. And Toda just goes, well, I would tell you if I hated it and whatnot. It's very sweet. And it's just like, oh no. So it kind of like, the last chapter kind of like leaves with a little bit of a cliffhanger. It's like, right, I don't want, like, we don't need to be together or anything like that, like, but I just want you to do this one thing for me. Obviously, we don't find out what that is until about halfway through chapter 2. And that is for the summer, because this is basically just going into the summer period, to go on a wee road trip for the summer. And it's to go around the film locations of Psyche's favourite film. It's so adorable. Like, you don't realise until, like, you're going, like, halfway through the chapter where it's like, oh yeah, I want to do this pilgrimage of this, like, film that I like and whatnot. But they can only do, like, certain days because, like, they have work and whatnot. So it's like wee mini trips, like, round, like, their area, because the film was kind of filmed near them. So they're, like, going out, like, kind of 2 hours away out and the jazz. And they kind of do it in order of where they appeared in the film. Oh, I'm just thinking about it and it's just like, ah! So they go to, like, a train station first. And it starts to rain. So then they go and get shelter and whatnot. And Psyche just keeps reiterating that he likes like, this happens throughout nearly every single chapter, right? He just keeps confessing. And it's sweet. And it's like, oh my god, I love you so much. But then, like, obviously they try and act normal. He's like, oh, we'll just act normal about it. Like, nothing's changed and whatnot. Whereas in Todo's mind, he's literally going insane about it because he can't stop thinking about it. And, oh, jeez. So, they go on their wee little trips. And then the last one is to a beach scene. And it's like the very last day of summer, like it's their last trip of the whole pilgrimage and everything like that. And it's the last time that they, like, can spend time before going back to school kind of thing. And turns out there was, like, a typhoon, so they can't go to the fucking beach. Because obviously, why would you go to the beach during a typhoon? So on the phone call, they were like, oh, well, I'll see you next term. I'll see you at school next week for the new term, blah, blah, blah. So the new term starts. Psyche's not there. He didn't come back. So it turns out he had to transfer to a different school. He didn't tell anybody. And it wasn't until Psyche's other kind of pals came up to Todo, like, in his class, being like, yous are like quite close pals, right? Do you know why he's not here? And it's like, wait, what? So then Todo is, like, harassing the teachers, being like, hey, excuse you, like, why isn't he here? Like, what's wrong? Like, panicking. And he tries to phone him. He's disconnected his phone. He's, like, cut off his number. It's just like, what is happening? So he's, like, panicking, shitting himself, getting upset. And then randomly, just, like, one day, randomly, about a month later, he gets a letter through the door. And his sister teases him it's from a girl because it's like he's got like a very like gender neutral kind of first name kind of thing. And he's like, oh, you've got a love letter from a girl. And he's like, wait, what? And then he like sees it, it's got his name on it. And he's like, he like runs out and he's just like ripping it apart. And it's just like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm sorry, like I left, like I had problems, but, and then gave you a bit backstory about them. So they had actually met when they were kids. Oh, it's so sweet. It's also quite sad, but it's also very sweet. And then basically he explains that the fact that he wanted to get close to him again because he realised it was him from his childhood that he just looks up to and always thought of as a superhero because he'd helped him when they were kids. And when he saw him in the video shop where they met, it was purposeful that they bumped into each other to start up their friendship again. It was cute, alright. And then Todo looks at the letter, realises he's posted it not that far away from where like he used to stay. So he goes out to the beach near the place, and lo and behold, it's like he's there, just happens to be there on that very day that he goes. He also ditches school, by the way. Like, he realises this in school. He brought the letter to him to school. And he fucking ditches school for the day. Like, damn. So, yeah. So they get to go to their beach. And then Toto fucking realises that, yeah, he actually has liked him. And they kiss. It's like, yes. Oh, like, it's just a cute wee story. Like, it's quite nice in that it's not really set in school as such. Like, it is just kind of like summery boys just enjoying like their pastime kind of thing and just kind of growing with each other. But, and then at the end there's like 3 extra stories, so they kind of get together like at the end of the proper like chapters and whatnot. And then there's like the first time they meet up again after being split apart, and then like spending time at Christmas, and then it's just cute. And I'm so excited to like for what the second volume's going to bring, because obviously I'm going to buy that now. I have to buy that now. Like, how can I not buy that now? Oh, it's just so adorable. I love it. I love it. Hey, so there we have it. So that's my summer review. Just a nice wee cute BL story just to end the summer with, because it's a summer story. Oh, just something to warm you up as it gets chilly, and if you can't tell, like, it's fucking freezing and it's already dark. Like, it's not even evening yet here, and I've had to got like a million lights on. Like, my lighting's all ruined because there's no light coming from my window. Oh, but yeah, something to warm your heart with. It's so cute, nice and fluffy, not too much angst. It's all good, all nice, all happy dory. So yeah, so that does us for another little Manga Monday. Whoop whoo! Oh, yay! So probably the next one isn't going to be as happy. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, but anyway, until next time, I'm AJ, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.